Hello, I am Annemie, and today we're going to be taking a look inside Epistory, Typing Chronicles. Now, as you might have guessed from this name, it is indeed a typing game, where you explore a world riding a big giant red fox. It is currently on Steam. Its non-sale price is approximately £10 or whatever your regional equivalent is, so we're going to have a look at it. I've been playing for maybe about 3 hours or so. I was intending to do a blind inside of this, but then it turned out the in-game noise was quite a bit louder than anticipated.
Fueled and sated, her path stretched onward.
So it does the typical indie thing of mysterious world that you don't really know anything about. Caps lock was... Oh, I'm on the wrong energy type. So you've got a number of energy types. You've got fire, ice, spark, and I believe you get wind later on. I've not got it yet, but I've seen sort of windmills around, and it would surprise me quite a bit if that weren't in here. But in general, you wander the world, and you try and discover things about it and unlock more powers, which unlocks different parts of the world. It feels quite Zelda-ish in that sort of thing. You're forever gaining new powers, so typically the electric powers will let you alter machinery and the like. Okay, so it wants me to go this way. And you can unlock upgrades which will make you better at this. So here's an enemy. This will let you show you some of the other powers. So you see this ice freezes it. You won't be able to actually see the fire powers here, but the fire powers will burn through words. Let's see if I can find another enemy coming up. Here, enemy. Ooh, have I done this yet? This will be a good example. This is a monster nest where enemies will just keep attacking you. So as you might be able to see, the enemies that I've hit with fire, the following word is coming off. If I were to use spark, you notice that the electricity is jumping off to nearby enemies. This is actually getting quite difficult, so I might be talking a little bit less. It is a one-hit kill situation, so you definitely do want to do these as fast as you can. The last word never actually jumps off, so that is sometimes a little frustrating. Now I can't currently move here either. So those blue ones, they can only be hit with ice. Some of these can get pretty difficult. Come on. There we go. Should have done this wave. Now, it does have an adaptive difficulty, so if you are... I don't know if it's recognized whether you're bad or whether you're slow at typing, but it will make things easier for you, allegedly. Having only done one playthrough, I've not actually noticed this. I mean, most of these words are fairly easy, but it's just a question of the amount of enemies that it throws at you and how quickly you end up having to type the things. Spain. And sometimes it can also be quite difficult to read things. I would appreciate maybe some slightly better contrasting. This is particularly an issue on the upgrade screen, I find. The words over them are also... Ah! Come on. I really shouldn't have done something this difficult, but... Oh well. I will make it work! That ash up there. So everything is a typing thing, so in order to change between these powers, I am typing the words, which I think is pretty cool. I wish I hadn't done one that was quite difficult right now, but there we go. That's finished. This is mainly for experience and use experience to unlock other parts of the world. We've got a new upgrade available, so let's have a look at what's done. I think I've actually got all the upgrades I can at the moment, so yeah. But as you might notice here, the contrast on the actual text explaining what the upgrades do. It would have been nice if that were white, maybe had a border that really picked it out, or some option to change it. The actual options list is pretty good. It gives you a whole load of different gaming languages. Unfortunately, the text is in American English, even if the menu and story language is British English. I keep wanting to put U's in things, which is awkward for me, but you've got a whole... Oh, there is British English. Well, shut my mouth. See, in menu and story language they put it as American English, but it seems like here it is just regular English. And you've got the adaptive difficulty going on here, and you've got a number of different keyboard layouts. If you're one of those people who uses Dvorak, this game has you sorted, which is a nice little touch. It also has, from what I can see, quite strong mod support. You can't actually see it from this options menu, you see it from the main options menu, but they have an interface to bring your mods into the game built into it, which is a nice thing to see, and I wish more developers would do. So let's see if we can unlock more of the world. I think I should have the experience to do it by now. Oh, there's a chest here. So you find chests in dungeons will actually give you neat little artwork the more you complete it. So I guess that's Burning Hollow, which looks like that, but Drowning Halls I've completed, and looks like this, and it fills out maybe a little bit more of the implied world, because I haven't come across anything which specifically talks about the world and sort of what's going on, because it, when you see it come up, it is origami. I've already activated that, so let's look over there. The world is very pretty, it has to be said. I really like the style that this game's got going on. I want me to go this way. Ooh. And the whole world creation thing, that's what it wants me to get to. Reminds me very much of Bastion, particularly early on, with things just sprouting out underneath you, as you'll be able to see here. You see the unfurling of pages which reveal a whole different landscape, and hopefully this might get me towards the wind area. This would be nice. And even if you can unlock an area, if you haven't got the ice power, for instance, you wouldn't be able to solidify this. And fire powers let you get through brambles, and as I said, the spark stuff gets you through machineries. Although that machinery stuff does remind me quite a lot of some of the Pokemon gyms, weirdly. with you needing to do things in the right order. I'm thinking, what was it, the Bird Gym in Ruby and Sapphire, where you had the sort of rotating doors going on? That was most of my last hour with the game. Now, if you're concerned about length, this game doesn't appear to be all that long. As I said, I seem to have gotten a large chunk of the way through it in the space of about 3 hours. But that's not really what this gives it. You don't need to be playing it for a long time to be having a good time, and it's a very satisfying thing to do. I wouldn't recommend you get this game if you can't touch type. But that should be fairly obvious here with one of these windmills I was talking about, which I can't actually access yet. As you can see, it has a word above it, but that word is definitely not something I can type. And that's how you know that it's something that you're going to be able to unlock later on. So that's about what the game is. I'm not going to jump in there right now, because we don't need to see me fighting off hordes of enemies again. But it's just a really nicely put together world. Let me see if I can actually show you a dungeon. Let's go to the map. Because I unlocked fast travel, I think. Let's try Ice Mausoleum, maybe? I think that's what I'm thinking of. It's either that or Drowning Halls. It was the one where you got the ice powers. Ah, no, it wasn't this one. But this is one of the dungeons, you'll see. Another of the dungeons. And some of the puzzles that go on, because it's not just about typing quickly. I don't think you actually have to type all that quickly in order to get through. There are some bits which get hairy, but those monster nests are mostly if not entirely optional, I think. It's just there to get you more experience, which is where it might become less optional, because you need the experience to unlock more parts of the map. So here we see the Drowning Halls. Got some these, well, previously buttons, and you have to turn them all on in order to get through. We're just tutorializing that here, and then later on it got to some puzzles where, so some of these were red, some of them were unlit. The red ones, which I think might have been this one here, and some others throughout there, if you step on them, they will reset the puzzle, and the idea is to get everything else lit. Now, once you're on the ice, you're going in the direction in which you're going. So you can go diagonally, you can go in one of the 4 orthogonal directions. You've essentially got 8-way movement on here, and you can place yourself however you want in order to hit as much as possible, but we'll stop once you actually hit something. And it's a simple puzzle, particularly when you remember that you can move diagonally, because you've been so used to just following the orthogonal directions. But it's a nice relaxing puzzle. And again, feels very reminiscent of, say, Mahogany Gym. Ooh. Why is there not? Oh, it's not a nice thing. Oh, sorry, not an electricity thing. It looked like one of the creatures that you could only hit with electricity, but turns out it wasn't. So, yeah, you go through this game, you do a number of dungeons, and you type and generally just enjoy the world. I'm not such a fan of the water texture going on there, but for me, the rest of the world, it looks gorgeous. It feels really fun to play. I'd say the one downside is you might notice that one of the upgrades here, velocity, increase the speed at which you run. I don't think that was necessary, particularly as at the start of the game you're running pretty slowly, and it just feels a little bit forced, which is not so good. There we go. And some of the others, again, they don't necessarily feel that useful. Instinct has shown to be quite useful if I'm a little bit lost, but some of the others, yeah, fine. It's a little bit token. The main useful ones are the magic upgrades, which allow your sort of electricity to spark to more things, or your fire to burn for longer. But I do really enjoy this, and there's a lot of other stuff going around, so I think filling in those trees and flowers there gets you a little bit of experience, but it's also just a nice and relaxing thing to do. So if you enjoy filling in a very pretty and interestingly stylized with the origami thing world, I would thoroughly recommend getting this. It doesn't feel like a typing lesson any more than a first-person shooter feels like a mouse lesson. It has the longer words and more words on enemies that are supposed to be tougher, and I feel like that's quite a neat system. I don't actually know how to get in there yet. Can I get in there yet? Oh, there seems to be a door up there. Let's see if I can get there. And as you've also noticed, a lot of the words do quite strongly relate to what you're having to necessarily just get past, more sort of the theme of the area. I don't really know what they do beyond experience and get you achievements. But on the point of achievements, this is one of the few games that has actually made me laugh with its achievements. And it probably won't work too much out of context, I won't spoil it too much, but there are achievements which record your progress, and it just... the names of the achievements and the way that it was presented very much surprised me. But yes, I think that's about all I'm going to do. You're going to watch this fox just walk around the landscape. So, if you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like. If you enjoyed this video a lot, please give my channel a subscribe. That will help me make more of these as we see more of the world unfold around us. I hope you have a pleasant rest of the day. I have been Annemie. Thank you very much.